from Grand Prairie, Mr. Ron Jensen.
I'm a storyteller. We tell a story. You know, we all know this kid, maybe were this kid. Maybe you knew this kid. Grew up, had great parents. Grandparents very supportive. School every day, no drama. Ooh, ha! That's a long time ago. If you don't know it, that's me on the far left before I grew hair. Schoolyard picks, you know what a schoolyard pick is. Never chosen first, usually chosen last. But when they got on the basketball court, they played. They did the best they could. They did not embarrass their team. They gave it all. Never picked to go to the birthday parties that all the cool kids got to go to. Heard the rumors. Well, you just lived on the wrong side of town. It's not the desirable one that we want at our parties. Never gave up. Parents supported him. Did everything right. Wasn't an A+ student, but graduated with decent grades. Got into school, did pretty good in college. Got into law school, not an Ivy League law school. Got into law school, graduated, and got a job at a law firm. Again, he was overlooked for those prestigious jobs with the big partners. But everything he was given, he did. Turned it in, on time, correct, and started making a name for himself. Until finally something happened to somebody he was working with, and he had to take their place at a big issue. He performed. He showed everybody, you give me a chance, I can do this. You know who that is? That's Grand Prairie. That's us. This is our time. That's number one, right? I told her I was going to do two things tonight I didn't want to tell her anything about, so that's the first one. Rebecca and I were driving around January 29th, 4 o'clock. Drove by Chicken and Pickle, drove by Twin Peaks, Longhorn Steakhouse, Olive Garden. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, no football game on. You couldn't get in the parking lot at all, anyway. I looked at her and I said, babe, we made it. I think a big part of that success was the vision of what Epic Central could be. That vision drew IKEA. We have a representative from IKEA here tonight. I remember when it was announced, the 4 Star Telegram read an article, and most of the comments was Grand Prairie, not Grand Prairie. You know what I'm talking about, Grand Prairie. Yeah, y'all know. Yes, Grand Prairie. That vision has some pretty big players taking a look at some new developments right now. It started in 2014 when we asked the voters to consider using the quarter-cent sales tax. That was at my first State of the City in 2014. Let's take a look.
This used to be nothing out here for miles. Cotton fields. People come dove hunting out here. Now look at it. Highways, apartments, houses. We've got everything right here in the center of the Metroplex, surrounded by 6 million people. What a great place to build something. It's great. It's going to be great. It's going to be epic. We're so thankful that the citizens of Grand Prairie are allowing us to do this out here. I was at a pre-K class telling them what we're doing. That night, one of the kids went home and the mother said, well, hey, what'd you learn today? And the little pre-K kid said, the mayor's building me a water park. We're building you a water park. We're building all of us a water park. Not only that, we're building a rec center, an all-inclusive playground, trails, an amphitheater, something we can all enjoy for years to come. And we did build the water park. It's an 80,000 square foot indoor water park, open year round. It's already won numerous awards. It's hosted the Flow Rider Championship. And next door, we built a 120,000 square foot epic fitness and recreation facility, state of the art. And just around the corner, an all-inclusive playground on a 10-acre site, of which we've developed 3 acres of it, called Playground Adventures. 8 years ago, at my first State of the City, I presented this vision to the voters. Now we're seeing the fruition of that vision. We've already opened Chicken and Pickle. We're going to build 6 new restaurants, 2 hotels connected by a conference center. In the pond, we're going to have a fantastic light show. On land, we're going to have some interactive technology for all ages to have fun with. And construction is well underway. It's going to be great. It's going to be grand. It's going to be epic.
It took us a few times to do that. The first time it was Don and Terry didn't like the lighting out in the field. And then next time there was somebody working on the water slides at Epic Water. So we did. After a third go of it, we finally filmed it. If you didn't notice, there's a few things that are different. I lost 20 pounds and I gained 3 inches of hair. But the hair's really light, so it didn't add any weight. And also, we've added another 2 million people to the area. We've got 8 million people in the area now. Before I start get into the specifics, see, it's one thing to have a vision. I, city manager and the councilor, had a vision. Visions don't always come to fruition. Visions sometimes fall flat. There was no guarantee. No guarantee. Whoever built the Alamo down in Hillsboro had that vision. You drive by there now, 75% of it's better. You've got to have players. You've got to have developers that believe in your vision. We're so fortunate that we are now becoming a player in the whole Dallas-Fort Worth area and the whole North Texas region. But here are some specifics about the things I mentioned in the video. The 2 hotels in Epic Central will be brought to us by Concord Hospitality, one of the top hotel management companies in the nation. We will have a Hilton Garden Inn, the Homewood Suites, offering 270 units and a 13,000 square foot convention center. The hotels and convention center are expected to open fall 2023. We have entered an agreement with Milkshake Concepts to bring their upscale Vidora Casina de Mexico, a restaurant which should open this summer. Had you told me 3 years ago we were going to have a restaurant that's very popular in Deep Ellum, I would have said, no way. They're one of the most popular restaurants in Deep Ellum. They're coming here to Grand Prairie. They are also opening a neighborhood restaurant and bar concept called The Finch. It'll open in early fall. They're also opening a serious pizza, sliders, and shakes in the fall. And a new breakfast brunch concept called Poached is opening in early 2023. Tonight we have the founder of Chili's, Larry Levine and Neil Mickelson, who will open Loop 9 Barbecue in the 5th space. The city in Larry, you're here tonight. Thank you for coming. The city is entertaining options for the 6th restaurant space. Larry and Neil are both with us tonight. Larry, Neil, and Steve, I want to express our sorrow for the recent passing of your friend and their partner, Nick Alamo, who just recently passed unexpectedly. One of our Epic Central restaurants is already open, Chicken and Pickle. Folks, you need to Google that. 77,000 square feet of entertainment, food, pickleball. Georgia will give you lessons. It has a dining room, 6 indoor pickleball courts, 5 outdoor pickleball courts, and 7,500 square feet of outdoor yard games. A large rooftop bar, so you can watch the Bellagio water show, and stages for live performances around the property. This is a joint venture between Chicken and Pickle and the City of Grand Prairie. The Epic Central Hotels, Convention Center, parking garage, and restaurant shelves are being built with the $75 million bond package voters approved in 2020. And we are taking advantage, and thank you to our state reps, we are taking advantage of the state incentive that will rebate us about $25 million over the next 10 years. The city-owned hotels, convention center, restaurants also create new revenue streams for our city, lessening our dependence on property tax. Surrounding the hotels and restaurants is a large outdoor open space with covered stage for events and shows. Nearby, Boulder Indoor Adventure. Hello. You all ever? Thank you. That gives me a break. One of my favorite commercials is the little lady in the elevator that rings and, oh, did you work the bird feeder again? Y'all probably don't remember that. So let's stick with it. This indoor family entertainment facility will provide rock climbing, zip lines, ropes courses, slides, synthetic ice skating, adventure nets, and more. Paul Fontanelli, where are you? Are you here tonight, Paul? There you are. Well, stand up, Paul. Come on. Thank you, Paul, for bringing this. It's inflated now. A few of us went in it the other day, and it's much bigger inside than it looks outside. It's 220 feet by 300 feet. It's huge. But thank you. It's just adding another adventurous, fun thing for us to do here in Grand Prairie. All of this combined with everything else we have to offer to give Grand Prairie a quality of life that rivals any city in Texas. 2021, here's some rankings. 3rd best city in Texas for jobs. 4th happiest city in Texas. Who's 1, 2, and 3? I've got to figure that out. 4th fastest growing real estate market. 5th best place to move in the U.S. 8th best staycation. And the 2nd safest city in the DFW area, and the 4th in Texas. And we didn't cook the books, folks. This is the same data that is every other city uses. The same data. 2nd safest city in the DFW area, and 4th in the state of Texas. In 2021, Grand Prairie Police Department achieved a, does it say it up there? Yes, it does. 10% crime reduction, making the lowest crime rate in more than a decade. All right, back there, y'all, calm down. In fact, the city was down in virtually every crime category, including violent crime, vehicle burglaries, thefts, and auto thefts. And in 2021, police began a 24/7 response of crisis support unit for those experiencing mental health crisis. That is huge. What does that mean? We have a staff trained to handle people with issues, mental issues. We have a COPE program that you can line up with and tell us if you have someone in your home, tell us what their triggers are so we'll know. And we used to just operate that, have somebody on staff 8 hours a day. We have expanded it where we have somebody on duty ready to respond 24/7. I don't think anybody in the state of Texas is doing that already. Still haven't found the damn cobra. about police. Chief Sessions, you're back there. Right next to you is Fire Chief Fife. Fire maintains the best rating possible, that ISO 1 and the Heart Association Gold Certificate. I tell you about the one all the time because you have to have staffing, you have to have lots of things to get. That's the best rating you get for the lowest insurance rates. But what I'm really proud of is the Heart Association's Gold Certificate. What does that mean? We've earned it for 7 years running. It recognizes EMS response times. That means if I were to have a heart attack right now, by the time the paramedics breach that door, they have 90 minutes to get me into an operating room with a stent in me. 90 minutes. And they have to do that 90% of the time. We've done it 100% of the time without a hospital reimbursement. I don't want you to have a heart attack, but if you do, plan it for here. I will tell you, Tom Hart suffered a heart attack. Fife was in his room. Fife's looking at his clock, thinking, I've got 90 minutes. Tom didn't want to go. Fife was about to leave and come back in so the clock would start over. But he talked him into going. Thank you, Chief. So why don't we have a hospital? Folks, I didn't like the hospital we had. Let's make it clear. I got more complaints about it when it was open than I did when it was closed. You'd go there for a 30-minute visit and get a $20,000 bill. They were not part of any association, and we couldn't transport you there. See, here's the deal. In our city, we're long and skinny like I was in high school. We transport you to the closest appropriate hospital. There's only one, see, this is going to surprise y'all. There's only one trauma hospital in Mansfield and Arlington. One. MCA on that one. So if you need to be treated for trauma, we don't have a choice. We're not going to take it to Methodist. We're going to take it to MCA because that's the closest appropriate trauma hospital. I learned that when I had an accident. When I broke my jaw. I thought, nothing good. I know the president of Mansfield Methodist. Knew most of them there. We ourselves the Mansfield Methodist. They could do the stitching there, but they had to transport me to downtown Methodist to do the trauma surgery on my arm. I didn't know that. You think, well, they all have. Not every hospital is equipped to take care of every need. You have to trust our EMS staff to get you to the closest, most appropriate hospital. Y'all do it time and time again. Let's give them a round of applause. While I can't give you a hospital tonight, I can give you more money in your pocket. Last year about this time, I came out and said, I want our finance committee, our staff to work on giving us a half-cent sales tax, half-cent property tax reduction for the first time in 20 years. I thought it was important to break that threshold in 20 years, half-cent. Half-cent property tax decrease. You're not supposed to put that up there. Half-cent, forget what you saw. Half-cent property tax increase is about an $850,000 hit to the budget. What we're wanting to do this year is increase our homestead exemption by 2.5%. Homestead exemption by 2.5% is the same hit to the budget, $850,000. But if you have a $239,000 home, the half-cent property tax saves you $10. The 2.5% homestead saves you $40 because only people that have claimed homestead exemptions get it. The big businesses don't, corporations don't, apartments don't, so we're going forward with a 2.5% homestead exemption increase this year. And I know, especially when you're getting your bills, and you probably start getting them out, everybody complains about your property tax bill. Okay, hello, did you hit the button again? See, you'll be thinking that every time now. You'll see that little lady in the elevator, say, oh, did you hit the bird feeder again? Tell me the next time if you don't think that. The city's portion of your overall tax bill is only 25% of the tax bill. Only 25%. I'm sorry, the schools, most of the rest. But kids, we got to educate our kids. And they don't get sales tax. 25% of it's the county. Talk about value for your money, though. What do you get here? For about $3.75 a day, you get police, fire, ambulance, streets, sidewalks, signs, signals, street lights, parks, libraries, economic development, and much more. If you're, listen to me, if you're 65 or older, you need to make sure you've frozen your property tax by qualifying and turning out the paperwork for a senior exemption. It freezes your taxes. And look at all the award-winning services we have with the money you spend. If you were here 2 years ago, I would have given you A, B, C, D, and I ranked them by percentages. Project A, I gave it a 90% chance of coming to fruition. Its nickname was Pickle. You know what it was? Chicken and pickle. It's done. B was 80%. Our nickname for it was Jiminy. For Jiminy Cricket. Folks, we're fixing to start on the cricket stadium. It's not 100% complete yet, but they're going to break ground by the end of April. We're going to have a cricket stadium here. C was 50%. I can't give you the nickname for it because you'll probably guess what it is. I had it at 50-50. The last few months has gone as high as 80-20 and as low as 20-80. I'm keeping it at 50-50. To me, it's a toss-up whether we're going to get it or not. D, I'm leaving at 10%. And I'm going to tell you what it is. It's the Estes Peninsula development. Now, what is the Estes Peninsula? After you pass the Oasis, that first bridge is that land all on the left. It's core property. Why am I only giving it a 10% chance? It's complicated. The Corps owns the land. A lot of companies won't even do business unless they can buy the land. We've had developer after developer. We even flew in Jack Nicklaus. We didn't, the developer did years ago. And Jack Nicklaus didn't go just get on the plane. They had to pay a retainer money down for him to design the golf course. I got to meet him before my dad passed away, and I went home and said, Dad, I got to meet Jack Nicklaus. He flew in here because he was going to design one of the golf courses. Ray Gold went bankrupt before he could get it done. We're meeting with a couple of developers right now. I do think with the growth of the DFW area, its proximity to the airport, its proximity to Jerry World and Globe Life Field, that we will land a resort development out there sometime, but it's just complicated and it takes a lot of work. Tonight, I'm not going to give an EFG, but I will tell you, the landowners out and around IKEA, which IKEA owns some of the land, Charlie Anderson owns some of the land, are working on 3 developments that we feel comfortable that we'll get at least 2 of the 3 of them. Possibly all 3, possibly none. But the talks have gone far enough to where we feel comfortable. We asked them this week, could I announce it? And they said no. And that's because they haven't filed the paperwork yet, haven't signed the deal. But there's deep discussions. with the land developer and the brokers, you'll know when I announce it. None of them are HEB. But I did bring you a Hobby Lobby. And Rebecca went to the Hobby Lobby before she had got an HEB. I'm just saying. Also along 161, we're getting the Dutch Brothers Coffee. It's right next door to Twin Peaks. Lucky's Hot Chicken. Now folks, if you've never had Nashville hot or Memphis hot chicken, this will be the first hot chicken we have in Prairie. Lucky's Hot Chicken is going along 161. Salad and Go. Rosa's Mexican Cafes finally coming to Prairie. They bought the land, they turned in the paperwork. They should start building soon. It's directly south from Kane's Chicken. There between Kane's and the gas drilling site. Trying to cover up that gas drilling site. Rodney's developing us a Bahama Bucks, and Rodney Devon didn't even know what Bahama Bucks was. I saw Rodney. Oh goodness, it's going to be your favorite place to go. We're also getting a tropical smoothie. But what's funny, you know I'm real active on Facebook. And if you tag me, I'm going to get back with you. Sometimes I send you an email because it's just too complicated to explain in a Facebook post. This past week, when are we going to get a taco casa? Did y'all see it? I mean, 50 million comments. I don't like taco casa. Oh yes, get us a taco casa. This is funny, isn't it? Tuesday night we approved one and I didn't even know it was coming. Right? We're all looking, taco casa. How did that slip by us? Well, here's how it slipped by us. The Shell station at 1382 and I-30 is there. The owner, neat guy, his daddy started the business. He's expanding, kicking out Subway sandwiches and putting in a taco casa there. Drive-through. We're getting a taco casa. So then I had to get home and say, hey folks, we just approved it. Well, when are you going to bring us an HEB, Mayor? Oh well. On the lake, Suntex has purchased the Lynn Creek Marina and Oasis Restaurant from the Walker family. Mildred, where are you, sweetheart?
Back here.
Mildred, bless your heart. What you've done for this city, bringing us what you brought us, the Oasis. We're grateful you brought it. We're so happy for you and your family to be able to sell it to such a fine company. Suntex is the top notch. And you told us you wouldn't sell it to somebody that wouldn't. Thank you very much. Suntex is committed to spending $5 million on upgrades over the next 5 years, and we have a great working relationship with them already. We've signed the lease and look forward to what they can do for us in the future. At I-20 and 360, you may have seen it. It was announced 2 years ago, and then the pandemic closed them all down. Alamo Draft House. Well, it's fixing to be started on. It even made FAA news the other day. Alamo Draft House Cinema, Restaurant, and Brewery is currently under plan review to break ground by the end of the year at 360 and I-20. I haven't seen Hamilton here tonight. Is Hamilton here tonight? I don't think he's here. Hamilton Peck is the developer, and he says he's going to break ground by the end of this year. Alamo Draft House, folks, coming to Grand Prairie. In Midtown, the former Town and Country Furniture Store, and also known as a sleepover for rats. I'm sorry. It just needed to be torn down, folks. Don't y'all agree? Thank you. Y'all dug me out of the hole I dug. Well, we're building a new retail restaurant space there at Pioneer, new apartments called the Gibson, 100 units. Thank you, Rodney Devon, for your vision in building that. And what's going in right across the street? A Sprouts, not an H-E-B. Sprouts will open March 18th. Rebecca and I drive by it every day. So, babe, you can't tell the change in one day. I know, I just want to go by again. Downtown, the city now owns Calvary Baptist Church and the property. And we bought the Bella Vista. If you've seen the Bella Vista, our fire department has been using it for training. It's a fantastic thing. Before we demolish it, y'all were out there for weeks, tearing down walls, playing firemen, just having a great old time. But it is great training, Chief. I'm glad you thought of it. So, Calvary Baptist. Why did we buy Calvary Baptist? We have a vision. We have a vision for downtown. We were concerned that someone else would come in and buy it and not do something to our vision. So we bought it. And we just went out with an RFEI to find out what other people's vision are for it. That's the Calvary Baptist Church. Part of that downtown change was completion of the City Hall Central. We plan to open house later this spring. And then another big development. On North State Highway 360, across from Riverside, which most of you don't even know is in Grand Prairie. Riverside Golf Course is in the city limits of Grand Prairie. Right across from that, Ken Schumberg, where's Ken? You're here tonight. Stand up, there you are, Ken. Thank you. Kim is ready to file zoning plans for what we're calling West Fork. Folks, if it's developed to his dream and potential, it will be the single biggest development in the history of Grand Prairie. It includes 2 hotels with access to the TRE rail station, multifamily, high-rise condos, 3 miles of riverfront, and 200 acres of recreation land. This will be a huge project for our city. Thank you, Ken, for having the vision. It's in the floodplain. He already owns the land. He's got to get permits from the Corps and everybody to be able to get out of the floodplain. So thank you. We'll keep you posted. Doesn't that look great? Some other news. We're not in dark. We're not going to get in dark. That train has left the station. Pun intended. Our citizens voted in the 1980s not to join DART, and we've been able to use that 1 cent sales tax to build things like Lone Star Park, the Epic Central, our police fire building, the Summit, do a $0.25 for streets, a $0.25 for perpetual parks. But we know we need to do something. So we are, on April 12th, we will be introducing Via Grand Prairie. If you live in Arlington or have traveled in Arlington, you've seen it. It's the same concept, same company. This low-cost transit system will pick up Grand Prairie residents and take them anywhere in Grand Prairie, as well as the following local colleges. It will take you to UTA, my alma mater, Tarrant County Community College, Mountain View, and Dallas Baptist University. Yeah. VIA will operate Monday through Saturday, 6 a.m. to 9 p.m., and prices will be $3 to $4 a ride. Yeah. I think it'll be $3 anywhere in Grand Prairie and $4 to take it to you and things like that. The VIA fans will clearly be marked with the VIA Grand Prairie logo. Riders will be able to book VIA by using an app or by your phone or online. Once rides booked via Grand Prairie will designate a pickup location within walking distance. Elderly and disabled riders will be picked up directly at their doorstep. It's a great benefit. Via Grand Prairie will not replace the Grand Connection bus service that we already operate, which is specifically for elderly and disabled residents. More driving freedom is on the horizon as the I-20 frontage roads are complete and open. Finally, the Chick-fil-A, Rhonda, I'm sure you're glad about that. The I-30 frontage roads will be complete in the next 6 months. TxDOT has completed adding a lane north and south on 360, I-20 to I-30, and TxDOT and the TTA are adding an additional lane both ways on 161. Thanks to Dr. Garcia, Camp Wisdom widening from Carrier to Beltline from 2 to 4 lanes will be completed this fall. And we start the expansion and straightening of Wildlife Parkway from Beltline to 161 summer this year, which will be completed by summer of 2024. That creates a critical east-west connection for our public safety and traffic management. The Stadium Drive extension there, just north of Grand Prairie High School from I-30 access to Fan Road, should start construction summer 2022. Parks is working on great additions to theirs. You heard me mention Playground Adventures, and if you've never been out there, folks, it'll really touch your heart. It's an all-inclusive playground, and the next phase of the playground is called Tranquil Adventures. It's going to provide a safe, quiet space where children and adults can get away from the excitement and stimulation of other parts of the playground. There will be plenty of shade and places to sit. The Playground Adventures Foundation is raising money to create artwork for a sensory wall if you're interested in contributing. Construction will begin early summer. What a great addition to Playground Adventures. I'm also happy to announce that phase 1 of the redevelopment of Turner Park. Those of us that grew up here knew there was a swimming pool there. That's where the Gophers played baseball. It needs a refresh. Phase 1 will include walking trails, a group pavilion, playground, parking, an event lawn, and an area paying tribute to the baseball complex that occupied the space for so many years. Construction begins this fall with completion in mid-2023. The same goes for the Familiar Park, the former Mountain Creek Park. Incorporating in resident input, phase 1 will include a group pavilion, trails, and a new playground. Construction should start this fall with completion by the end of 2023. We're also working on a redevelopment project on Prairie Park. Parks is working with a consultant finishing up the master plan based on community input. Phase 1 will start this fall with the completion about a year later. Chris Turner, thank you. You got us about $2 million for that project. Thank you very much. Devin, you're seeking some additional funds. You're trying to figure out what bucket to get the money out of. Thank you both, Chris and Devin, for helping us fund the improvements in Prairie Park. Let's give them a round of applause. Look, folks, we offer award-winning parks, libraries offering no-cost, low-cost access to recreation and education for all, regardless of age, background, or means. We offer a wide variety of family-friendly, fun, affordable, affluent houses, schools of choice, easy access everywhere, and more amenities than most. And ultimately, it is you, our residents and businesses, who make Grand Prairie the best and a highly competitive city in the nation. In the morning, go home and do your DVR tonight. Tune in to Channel 8, Good Morning Texas. I'll be on, along with some others, on Good Morning Texas. I'm not going to be taking a swim. I'm afraid that turns some of you off. But we will be there. It's an honor to serve as your mayor. Rebecca and I continually, whether it's in Tom Thumb, Walmart, Home Depot, we are continually stopped and told how much they appreciate what we're doing. It's us who appreciate what y'all have allowed me to do. I truly am blessed to be your mayor. I have signed for re-election. Thank you for anything I'd love to be doing right now. Thank y'all for coming tonight. Be safe going home and pray for the Ukraine.